can't wait for you to give me a little nephew or niece.
Yeah, we're not gonna say that.
Well, enough about Alfred. Did you get the blue dye I've been asking for?
Actually, I did. It's from a woad merchant in Winchester. Took me some time to find him.
Oh, thank you so much, Martha. I guess now I finally have to finish my weaving.
How's it going?
I'm taking my time. I'm not in a rush.
What does Sir Richard think of the idea?
I haven't told him yet. When he comes here, he's mostly interested in coin. But that's the deal. He fights and I pay. It's an endless circle. The coat of arms shall remind us of who we are and where we come from, so we don't end up losing purpose.
Have you decided on an animal yet? You really should have an animal on it.
Lion, bear, eagle, or fox? I think bear would be the most appropriate.
It will sport a bear.
Oh, bears are scary. I like that. Ali, I'm so sorry that I mentioned wanting a niece. I just thought, in the last month, that you were, well, growing a bit.
Oh, I'm just getting fat.
You're not getting fat?
You forget that there's not a lot for me to do other than sit around and eat.
Then we should take a hike soon. Stretch your legs and get some sunshine.
I'd like that. I would like that a lot. But not today. I need to finish the coat of arms first. Get it done while I still can.
Well, you can't change your mind now. You gotta stick with your choice. I guess this is the truth.
What to do anymore. I had to marry Alfred to fulfill my oath.
There's always
I
another
wish
choice.
Jack would have understood. Love alone could never stop William Hamley. Only money and influence. With Alfred as a husband, I can fulfill my father's last wish. And ever since we've been married, he's been working deep into the nights to finish the cathedral. And when he's home, he expects nothing in return, although I can see so much longing in his eyes. He is trying his best to make our arrangement work, while all I do is bicker. I did what I had to do when I married him. But what I didn't know back then was that I am pregnant with your grandchild.
You brought this on yourself. You had the love of your life, but you threw it away.
Ellen's right.
Do you scorn me for what I did?
No more than anyone else. First and foremost, I blame that priest who turned my son into a monk. But you're a very close second.
Change your mind? This is a tough call. Maybe the mistake shouldn't be punished that harshly. How do you solve this?
What if I brought Jack back?
Oh, Aliena. Jack has left England. There's no possible way to find out where he went. I want you to know one thing. Jack loved you. For me, that makes you still family. If you can't have his baby, give it to me. I will raise it far away from this crooked world that had no room for my son.
I don't want to give our child away.
Then you cannot stay here. You cannot go on like this.
But I have to. Don't you understand? It's finished. I want you to wear it when you go to battle. To remind us of what we are fighting for.
Huh. Why a bear?
Because of its strong family bonds. A bear takes care of its kin, and so should we.
You hear that, Alfred? I'm a bear. Rawr.
Grow up, Richard. This is important.
Sorry.
How's the war going, by the way?
It can't go on forever, can it?
The good thing is, William Hamley is turning out to be quite the lousy player. In our last battle, he ran away when things started to get a bit tight. They say he was afraid to die before he settled matters with his mother.
His mother?
No one's seen her in years, not since her husband died. But rumor has it she's still alive and joyfully pulling his strings. Mention her to William, and he goes as pale as a sheep. Ali, we are so close, but we need to be careful. We mustn't let our guard down.
Is there anything you need from me, Richard?
Well, a new saddle would be nice.
I'll see to it.
And a horse to put it on, of course. The last one caught quite a few arrows.
Right.
I'll be out for a while. I've got some business at the market with Martha.
All right.
Eliana's coat of arms. Eliana's design for a coat of arms serves as an emblem for her family, meant to be worn on a shield, surcoat, tabard, or flag, and carried into battle. Each element of a coat of arms is meant to provide unique insight into the history and ideals of the carrier, which is why Eliana chose a bear. They are intimidating and not to be messed with.
I can't believe you two have almost done it. You've almost won your father's earldom back.
Oh, don't say that until it's actually happened. I'll see you later in the evening.
Ah, there you are.
I always wondered what it would have been like to grow up in a forest.
Oh, it's cold. Very, very cold. When I was young, I spent a night in Ellen's cave. If it hadn't been for her soup, I would have died for sure.
cathedral. Ever since Alfred talked to Philip, they've been working hard. It's almost finished now. Martha, there she is, cheerful as a bell, as always. Beyond the hills. They say more towns are growing out there, towns like Kingsbridge. Maybe one day I'll travel again. Sheep pastures, it's getting warmer again. Soon the sheep won't need our wool anymore. Time to get back into the business. Surrounding forests. This is where Ellen and Jack came from. Can't imagine a life like that, but then again, once I couldn't even imagine a life like this either. Riverside. The landing side is for logs and rocks. Maybe we could use it to ship wares too. It would help revive the market. New construction site. Richard urged Alfred to raise a wall to protect us from the Hamleys. But first we need new coin to build it. Alright, let's continue. I still feel really bad about Jack though. Man, so many bad choices. I wonder if it's possible to get them together. Oh well. No safes coming.
What kind of soup?
I think it had deer in it.
Deer?
Yes. Jack had caught it before we met him. I think it was the only one he ever caught.
But hunting deer is...
I know. It's punishable by death. Jack never was one for rules and laws.
Right. He was always busy with something, just not with what Tom asked him to do.
Jack? Yes. Yes, he was.
You will be an aunt soon.
What?
But don't tell Alfred. I haven't told him yet.
You still think marrying him was a mistake?
I do.
I do too. But you did it for very good reasons. So, maybe it wasn't a mistake after all. Maybe it will work. Not in a loving way, but more like a partnership. You two seeing eye to eye to each other.
Maybe. But the baby is not...
What was that?
They built it too fast. Like the Babylonians, they sought to be grander than God, and for this we all have to suffer.
It was the stone roof. He started building a stone roof. If Papa had still been alive, he would have stopped him.
You're with child? How can you be with child if we never...
My cub is gone and will never return. You threw it all away for a life of lies and a kingdom of dust.
Without a cathedral, my mother will spend an eternity in hell. And by God, I hope you won't suffer the same fate for this. I can't stay. Not without work. And not like this. I'm sorry.
There's no need to cry. There. We've been crying for far too long now. Where do we go from here?
It's all gone. It died down. It's been cold for hours. I should really get going. First crown I ever earned. I was so proud of that day. The trade gave me self-sufficiency. It's in shambles with no money to rebuild it. The house is all mine again. Alfred left Kingsbridge for good.
We will build a cathedral right here, towering high above Shiring. But it will not be a cheap undertaking.
Money is no object. I shall build it for our Lord and my mother, so that the Lord will heal her.
I am sure he will. Ah, yes, there he is.
Who?
We will need a master builder.
My bishop, I think I have the right man.
My bishop, my name is Alfred Builder.
Pillars of the Earth, Sowing the Wind, Chapter 14, Departure. What you did. You tried to be kind during the breakup with Jack. You believe God is unjust. You chose a bear for your coat of arms. You supported Alfred's idea to insure the workers. In your marriage with Alfred, you grew desperate. You left Kingsbridge for good, and you finished Book 2.
Next time on The Pillars of the Earth. Witness the climactic final part of the series.
It's time we take back what was taken from us.
It's time to face our enemies.
It is time to make a stand for what we believe in.
The Pillars of the Earth. Book 3. The Eye of the Storm.
Gotta say, I wonder what the other options were. Because I really feel bad about how it all happened between, well, to Jack pretty much. Then again, she did make the wrong choice, and I don't think it was an option to make the right one, but I mean, I feel there might have been a way. Like, it was kind of set up that Jack had a better head for these things than... You know, like, if you wanted it, you could game the system in such a way that Jack might have ended up on top and became the master builder and not fucked up the build. But I feel like along the way we would have to do stuff that was either illogical or cruel to Alfred specifically. Like, break him down to build Jack up. And I also think that, like, if you remember where Alfred first brought up that he might marry Aliana, like, if we hadn't postponed bullying Alfred until it was too late, that might have made it clear enough that they were together, so that Alfred and Aliana marrying wasn't an option. Maybe that was a mistake. I mean, Aliana lamented that she should have told the people she knew sooner, but it was actually Jack that skipped out. Well, me playing Jack on letting the world know. And I guess it's his duty to kind of do that. Although Eliana's dad is dead. Either way, hindsight is 2020. I recall at the time I didn't want to bully Alfred because I didn't want to deteriorate our relationship anymore. Anyway, book 3 time. I wonder if it's possible to keep Kingsbridge. Well, that would mean that Jack would be in charge, I guess?
The White Ship. She was one of the fastest vessels that was ever built. The man who should be king of the English now, the son of King Henry, was on board when she sailed off. And with the prince there were 140 knights and many nobles, all on their way from Normandy to England. They say the ship hit the rocks, and then a fire broke out. Even before the White Ship had departed, the prince and his men had begun to drink and get violent. Monks that were meant to bless the voyage were then forced to disembark. Some say the ship had been cursed. The king's son and many of his family were pulled down into the Black Sea that night.
You're forgetting one important detail. Not only these monks, but also Stephen of Blois, the king's nephew, left the ship before it embarked. They say he got ill.
That old rumor.
The same Stephen who calls himself the King of the English now.
What? That cannot be a coincidence.
Yes, it can be. Of course he's king now. He survived. He is the king's nephew.
What do you think, my lord?
I think Stephen is a clever man. Clever enough to have his whole family perish. But why he would want to rule that godforsaken rock, I will never understand.
What makes you say that? I love my country.
Then why are you leaving?
Well, because I want to see something new.
I'll tell you what you're going to see. A proper country, where people know how to behave.
What about you? Why are you leaving?
I'm looking for someone.
For who? I guess I should stay out of other people's business. Forgive me.
You English do talk a lot, don't you?
I just don't know how to feel about leaving my country for the first time. I mean, how should anyone feel?
Excited, probably.
Excited?
I don't know. Maybe I'm just running away.
You should all get some rest. It will not be long now till we reach Cherbourg.
Thank the Lord. I can't wait to be back.
In the late summer of 1142, I had left my home country, England, for good. My old life lay in shambles, as did my former home of Kingsbridge. Having failed both my friends and family, I had set out to find my baby's father, the man I still loved with all my heart, Jack Jackson. And so early one morning in July, I finally arrived on the shores of Normandy. With nothing on me but a pouch of coin and a young, curious face yet unnamed, who was just as unfamiliar to this new world as was I.
The sinking of the White Ship, 1120. The White Ship was one of the fastest ships of its name. It was steered by the son of the captain of the Mora, the ship that brought William the Conqueror from Normandy to England, when he invaded England in 1066. Like his father before him, the captain of the White Ship gladly offered his vessel to many members of the royal household of King Henry for passage on their travel from Normandy to England to visit the king. That's a long sentence. But like all the poor souls who went aboard the ship, the captain did not survive the voyage. In the dark of night, the ship hit rocks and fire broke out. The ship was dragged down into the dark abyss of the sea, and with it many of the king's heirs. Stephen of Blois was meant to be on board as well, but it said that a sudden sickness caused him to leave the ship before it set sail. That November night, as the White Ship sank, Stephen became the last remaining male heir to the English throne, and thus some claim he was responsible for the sinking. We can interact with the ship. Well, not. We can think about the ship. I took my first ship this morning. Had to get away as fast as possible. Mason. I recognize those tools. A mason like Jack. Will I ever find Jack again? We also have Cherbourg. I heard there's a lot of fighting in that castle. The ship wouldn't land there.
You're still here?
Oh, it's you. I'm just trying to get my feet used to good solid ground again. The last bit of our voyage wasn't exactly my pint of ale.
That hammer you're carrying, do you happen to be a mason?
Actually, I am. You have a keen eye, mistress.
I guess I just know a mason when I see one.
To be honest, I haven't been one long. Just finished my apprenticeship in Salisbury. Before that, I used to shear sheep with my parents, but I guess that wasn't really for me. Father still hates me for leaving, though.
What will you do to find work here as a mason?
Don't know. That's for me to find out. All I heard was that the wages are better over here.
So you'll just travel from town to town and look for employment?
Right. And I'll start in Letsplay. A fellow mason told me about the abbey there. He said these Normans build their churches quite differently than we do back home. I need to see that with my own eyes. Maybe learn a thing or two.
Alright, maybe. Do many masons go to Letsplay?
Do many masons go to Letsplay?
I dunno. It's really just a tiny town. The mason who told me just happened to do some repairs there once. It's likely he told others as well.
I'm looking for someone. A red-haired mason called Jack Jackson. He came to France about a year ago or so.
A fellow mason? Great. Unfortunately, I wouldn't know a thing. After all, I just arrived here with you.
I know, but should you meet someone like that on your journey, tell him Aliena of Shiring is looking for him.
All right. Jack Jackson. I'll keep an eye out for you.
Thank you.